And welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast. We're glad that you guys are here tonight. And welcome back to the Survivor Girl podcast, everybody. We're glad that you are joining us for episode number 4.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Which is super exciting. I'm really happy that we're here. I'm glad that you guys are joining us. We have a great show for you tonight.
Yes, we do.
But first, Becky's going to do the disclaimer.
And of course, as always, we are not here to treat, prescribe, or in any other way fix any issues that may come up. We're only here to share and inspire.
Exactly. So we are not therapists. We're not. We're just
Doctors.
here to talk about our experiences of surviving, thriving, and getting back up again.
Yes.
And we have an amazing guest here in studio tonight.
Yes, we do.
We have known Jan for quite a while. She is a friend, a mentor, and an author that we are absolutely so proud of, and we're glad that you're here. So we have Jan Vincent McKee here tonight.
Yes.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us. It's super exciting to have you here.
And I am super excited to be here. It's amazing.
You're our second guest.
Yes.
You're our very second guest. We're happy to be able to have different guests come into the studio and share with us their stories of surviving and thriving. And you have one incredible story.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing that I've started down this road. It's so overwhelming to me, to be 52 years old and just starting to come into myself and learning. And it really started back in 2014 when I met the Oola guys.
Yeah.
So that was amazing in itself to hear the Oola story,
Right.
and to hear what Oola is all about. So Oola is a state of awesomeness when you're balanced in 7 key areas of life. There's faith, family, friends, finance, field, which is our career,
Right.
whether we're, working in a job outside the home or we're a stay-at-home mom or a student. And then there's also finances and fun.
Yeah.
So Oola, you need to have a hub. Okay. You're centered in something. For me, I'm a child of God, a Christian. So my center is Christ.
Right.
So I'm centered in Christ. And then you have these 7 key areas of life. Then you think of them as spokes. So you've got your hub and then they come off, these 7 spokes come off and it create like a tire.
Right.
Well, if you can imagine that one of these 7 key areas are either really hot, longer than the others because maybe you're a workaholic and you're working too much, or you're not real good at finances and you like to spend money because you're having fun. Well, sometimes then our wheel doesn't roll so
we're out
easily.
of balance.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. We're out of balance. We're not rolling. Life is just kind of bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to continually come back and reevaluate.
Yeah.
Where are we at? And so the guys have really, they've written a great book. It's Oola, Creating Balance in an Unbalanced World.
Yes.
That came out, I believe, in 2013. And then since then, they've came out with Oola for Women, which is a wonderful compilation of stories from women that have gone through Oola and just really tried to evaluate their lives. There's actually a little test that you can do on oolalife.com.
I did that in 21-day challenge.
Yes,
I
and
did
the
that.
21-day challenge. And then what you can do is you can see, this is an actual test. It's going to tell you where your weaks and strengths are, so that you can go, oh yeah, I need to work on this area of my life. And you need to reevaluate that, because sometimes, and there's seasons in life. So sometimes you might need to work on fitness more, and fitness isn't just working out on the weight machines or running a marathon. It's mind, body, and soul.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's working on our head, our, inner self, our health, and our body.
Yeah.
So then once we can, reevaluate that, and then we work on those areas, then we can create that balance. And life just starts rolling a lot smoother.
And it's nice when that starts to happen.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing when you create that balance.
Yeah.
So then once I met the guys out in Utah in 2014, and I got their book and they told their story and about Oola. I went home that year and I read their book and I really started evaluating my life and recognizing now they have what they call the 7 Oola Blockers. And those are things that come up in life that keep you from your Oola life. There are things like envy and laziness and
fear.
Yes, fear. You know, there are things
I know
like
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're both very familiar with fear.
Yes.
Yeah. On the way here, I was listening to the breakup song by Francesca Baccelli. I love that.
Yeah.
It's fear. You do not own me, and I will not. Yes. Fear. Anyhow, and then there's Oola accelerators. So there's 7 accelerators that will launch you towards your Oola life. And those are like love and wisdom and gratitude. So once we recognize where we're at, and then we can start evaluating and looking at, oh, those are a Oola blocker, or those, oh, that's when I was doing good. That's an accelerator. I need more of that. And that's going to launch me towards my goals. So I started looking at the Oola blockers that I had in my life and when things started going good, what those accelerators were. And I shared with the guys when I saw them the following year at convention again. I think this time we were in Texas. And I saw them and I told them my story and how I had come to recognize what my journey was. And Dr. Dave said, Jan, you need to write it down. So I hemmed and hawed, went a couple of years, and then kind of lost track of 2017 is when I finally started writing down my journey. And so the last March of 2018, I published my Oola Journey, and it is all about as a child, I was born into lies and deceit. My first stepdad was very abusive. There was a lot of physical, mental, sexual abuse during the first 7 years of my life. And that kind of followed me, abuse. It does. It absolutely does.
I was told that it takes 1,000 positive messages to outlast and outshine one negative message you receive as a child. So just think about that one negative thing. So if you tell them, oh, you can't do that, or you're stupid, it takes 1,000 positive reinforcements to change that one thought.
Yeah.
So,
and just think, if you've gone years and years
with
that, and as a child, you don't know that that's not normal.
Right.
You don't know or expect or kind of surround yourself with anything but.
Yes.
And so that really,
you grew up with believing that.
Exactly.
Because you really do. Because when I was reading on another thing that when you start out, like, you don't have that fear because we're new. Everything is new. And then it's until we start hearing things from our loved ones and people that we meet that we start to get this fear. And then you kind of hold on to when you hear that stuff, like you said, it really does travel with you through growing up. And you start to believe that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And I had a and if we're going to be honest here, which we're among friends, right? We're going to be honest.
We are.
Self-worth is still a very huge issue that I struggle with, to feel worthy of love or success.
Right.
Because all those in the beginning, I was nothing, I was just, I wasn't wanted. I wasn't, so that, like I said, it takes, like you said, Becky, it's so many positive things. And then I okay, let's face it. Then as I became 20 and graduated from school, I talk about my book. I turned 18. I graduated high school and got kicked out of my house in 3 days.
Wow.
Like I think I turned 18 on a Friday. I graduated on Sunday and my mom kicked me out on Monday.
Wow.
It's like, okay, you know.
No,
So then I
yeah.
just got
Talk about
launched
sink
into
or swim.
right. Yeah. Well, and then there was a guy that had been dating for a few months. So his parents were awesome. They took me in, which kind of led me into a marriage that, you know, I was young and I
Right.
didn't know I didn't have options.
Right.
You know, the options were there, but I was told that it wasn't an option. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, you know, like I had an scholarship to go to college, but when you don't think you're worthy or loved or capable of
Right.
doing anything on your own, yeah,
you just accept what is.
Yeah,
and
what
you
is.
just kind of put the things aside because you're at that point where you're not believing
Yeah.
enough yet.
Yeah. So it was difficult, and like I said, I believe those things. So then, you know, there goes 20 years. Fast forward, you know, I left that marriage with a 6-month-old, my oldest, and I became stronger and, you know, more confident. But still, I went into another marriage and then had 3 children, and I surrounded myself and just totally dove into being a mom, or, you know, to having a family and doing whatever it took to raise a family, to not be like the family I grew up in.
Right.
Whatever it took. I didn't care what it looked like, you know, as long as it wasn't, so they didn't have the same experiences that I had. That I wanted to make sure of.
Yeah.
And, you know, so then in that, hence looking back, I made mistakes, as we all do, you know, but it was difficult. And then 20 years, my husband passed away. He had been real sick for a long time, and you learn a lot, you know.
You're a caretaker.
And I feel that is one of the hardest jobs on the face of the earth. Because once again, you know, here I was a caretaker for my children,
right?
But then after they got to be teenage years, in not needing me quite as much,
when they became a little bit more independent, yes,
then I became a caretaker for my husband, and so that was very difficult. And I'm just now 52 years old, going, "Who's Jan? Who am I?
Yeah.
What do I?" Oh my gosh.
Time
It's
goes
crazy.
by. Time goes by, and then you stop and you're like, wow.
And you have to reevaluate who you are and we all have a purpose in life. And so sometimes we struggle. Some people don't even think to look at, you know, try and discover what their purpose is.
Right.
But God designed us all to have a purpose and to share our stories and to help one another and to love one another.
And like the whole thing behind the Survivor Girl podcast is to be able to share our stories, because if we can just reach one person that's going through it, and we've already had somebody message, we had a couple people message and say, thank you for doing what you're doing. So we're not alone.
If you look at chat, it's blowing up right
now. We got a lot of stuff going on chat.
Oh,
so I'm going to go ahead and turn to that really quick, not to stop you. So we'll hold that thought.
Yeah.
All right.
And let me see here what we got going on in chat. Thank you guys for joining us. We love that you guys are here.
That you're here with us.
Derek started us off with, hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day. Also, he said the sun peeked out a little just now, hope it's shining in Caro. Tony said, hello my fellow Survivor girls listening in, much love and respect. Derek, I can't be fixed, so no worries.
I think that was to my disclaimer.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm catching up here. Tony says, sounds great tonight. Sound is awesome. We're so happy to hear that.
And Derek says the same thing.
Yes. And then we get down to Adam saying, hi guys. Tony, how do we get a copy of your book?
Oh, that is a great question, Tony.
Well, you can go to Amazon.com and you can put in the search engine, my Oola Journey, or just Jan McKee, and it will pop up. So you can order it right from Amazon.com. They actually do a print by demand. So they print one copy. Or if you're in the local area, if you just want to hit me up on Facebook at Jan Vincent McKee, I will gladly send you out a copy. I have several here in the studio. And if I do it that way, then I will also make sure to sign it for you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that, you guys. go ahead and take advantage of that. We'll put the link up on Survivor Girl so you guys have
Yes.
there you go. Direct
chance
link
to
to my Facebook.
And if you guys want to share that too, along with sharing this episode, we appreciate you guys sharing this episode, getting it out there, getting all of our episodes out there. Because like I said, if we can inspire just one person, then we're doing awesome.
Yeah.
We're moving forward. And Megan says, you are a real survivor. Thank you, Megan, for joining us. Derek says, Jan, you are a hero to people going through what you went through. Tony said, preaching to the choir, parenting as a single parent is no joke. And Dawn is joining us. She says, hi, everyone. Hey, Dawn, glad you're joining us. And Tony, I'm so getting an autographed copy. All
Yay.
right, awesome. All right, I'm caught up in chat now. Thank you, guys. We're so glad that you're here.
So one of the things I wanted to make sure that I always say, because I think so many of us get caught up in our past.
Mm-hmm.
We think that what's happened to us and what we've gone through, the experiences that we've had, the abuse that we've encountered, that defines us as to who we are. And it absolutely does not. We are in control of our own destination. And so we don't have to get stuck there. And so many times I see people that have gotten stuck. And I have to admit, there's been times, where I may get a glitch.
It happens.
But I make sure not to get stuck there. Yeah. A really good example. So as I'm going through, really for the first time, sitting down, putting a lot of my experiences in print on paper. The book I published it myself. So I sent it off to the publisher to be printed, or the printer, not the publisher, but the printer to be printed. And so finally, I've spent many months writing this book, right? And I'm just ready to chill and just not think about it much anymore. Saturday night, my girlfriend is on Facebook, and you guys know the little things that come up. Oh, if you were an animal, what animal would you be? Click, yes. You hear? Well, yes. My girlfriend did one. If you were the opposite sex, what would you look like? So I'm like, oh, what the heck? I'll play. So I clicked it. And I won't give everything away. I'll probably give most of it away, but I'll let you get some of the details in the sequel that's coming out here in July. But the picture that came back to me was very shocking to me. Yeah. And it resembled very much how I remembered my first stepdad to look like.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So as my book is off being published or printed, and everything in my book at that time was true, I thought that my dad was my dad. And I have a picture of me, at 8 weeks old, 2 months old, in my dad's arms. And I know how just the love that picture shows.
Right.
And that my stepdad was my abuser, when in reality, my new reality last March was that my biological dad is actually my abuser.
Oh, wow.
So, wow. Yeah, it was, so I'm still speechless, because there was so much love. The man that raised me, who is truly my dad, that is my dad. He will always be my dad. That doesn't change.
Right.
There were some things that changed, the biological part of it. Now there's some, of course, medical history that comes into effect that's changed a little bit, but I had to get through that. That was my glitch. Last year.
Yeah.
And thank God I use essential oils for emotional growth.
Oh, no joke.
I tell you what, I had forgiveness. We have some blends, and I had forgiveness and acceptance in my pocket all that weekend.
Yeah.
Because that's what I needed to do. I needed to do a lot of forgiveness, and I needed to accept my new truth.
Right.
And so that really, really helped me. And I just met a cousin from Arizona who she's really filled in a lot of the story. But that's all part of my past.
Right.
And it does not define me as the wife and the mom and the friend and the sister. So I still have, in one sense, it changed some things.
Right.
Because I have a half brother.
Oh, okay.
Who is technically no longer a half brother.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Wow.
because our dads are.
Yeah.
So yeah,
mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. It's like, you
Yeah.
guys can't see this, but yeah, envision, my brain just exploded. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. But in now through this growth and going back through, okay, let's reevaluate our Oola, let's bring us back into balance. And it's just been amazing. So the guys, Dr. Dave and Dr. Troy, actually came to Michigan last summer.
Yes.
I had them here in Frankenmuth, and we had a really nice, it was a rally, and they got to speak and tell about Oola. And I was so excited and blessed and honored that they asked me to write a chapter in their new upcoming book.
Awesome.
And they're like, it's not for sure, but we'd like to see some more writing from you. So I did. I wrote a chapter and submitted it. And the publisher just announced about a month ago that, yes, they're accepting it. And so our new book is going to be out July 17th. It's called Oola for Christians.
That is incredible.
So
I'm so awesome.
Super excited. So that is a sequel. That is where you can hear now the rest of the story of my three fathers. So
wow. That
pretty
is
excited.
So cool.
So to encourage people, because, I've seen, I've met people that feel lost and not loved and not wanted. And so all of those thoughts started coming through my head, I mean, what the heck was wrong with me that he didn't want me? And, why did I get lied to all these years? And was I not loved and wanted?
And sometimes we never know those answers.
No.
And sometimes that's how God wants it to be. Like he doesn't, sometimes there was like a quote that I said that people, or that I read, that people are like, oh, if you don't know, or if they're talking about you, that's none of your business. And it's kind of, I kind of think about that. I'm like, okay, what people think about me, sometimes that's just none of my business, even if I want to know and I continue thinking it over all the time. I mean, there's just sometimes we don't know the answers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. And I'm one of those. I'm a yellow, the color wheel. I'm a yellow. So I'm very much, I want people to not be mad at me. I don't want people to, dislike me, and I don't want people to think badly of me. And I'm a people pleaser, definitely.
Yeah.
And
what is that? How do you
color
find out
wheel.
what
the
your
yellow? Okay, I'm sorry. It's the color personalities. There's red, blue, green, and yellow. And you can actually, oh my goodness, you've put me on the spot.
I did.
It just left my brain.
I know that
and we're live, folks, and that's what happens.
Right? Exactly.
I can't remember where you can look
was
it
that
up. But
Dawn Valmer that actually commented that on there? She might be able to put in the link.
No, that would be the engineer's
mother.
Yep, different Dawn.
Okay.
But we can look that up for you guys. So
we'll definitely I'll put the link in, but it's a great book that talks about, there's actually another test that you can go online and see what kind of personality you are. So the yellows tend to be people pleasers and very kind of carefree helpers. They want to help people. Reds, oh, there you go.
Is that it?
I found it. Like it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go Heather.
All right. I can definitely share that test so you guys can find out what color personality you are.
Yeah. So, but the reds tend to be the ones that are leaders. The blues are your fun-loving, just want to have fun girls. And greens are the ones that like all the detail.
Oh.
Yeah. And you can be a mixture, because some people say I have a lot of green in me. Because sometimes I'm organized and I like all the details,
I don't like the color green because I don't want to be green with envy.
Oh,
but I am very detail oriented.
Yes, you're green. You're not green with envy, but you're a green personality. There you go. So it's but you know what? It helps to know, because I think that so many times we're like, oh, they're not like me. Well, that's okay. Yeah. God made us all different. It's just like snowflakes. There's no two the same. So if we can recognize other people's strengths and weaknesses, then we can we can work together better and not only work together, but just promote. I just wish get me down a whole nother rabbit hole. It's like, because why can't everybody just get along?
Exactly. And why do we have to bring each other down instead of build each other
And
up?
yes, we need to.
That's a whole different rabbit hole.
Not knock their crown off, but just when it's tilted, just fix
slightly
it.
fix it. Yeah.
That's
help
right.
each other. Help each other
Help
out.
each other,
Exactly.
yes.
There's a thing like on our other podcast, Don't Make This Weird podcast, where we just talk about not being a bad person.
Yeah.
We use different colorful language on there, but we don't do that here right now. So,
Yeah.
but it's
Thank you.
just don't be a bad
have
person.
a tendency sometimes to let some things slip, but
There are
rare.
times we're not perfect,
Yes,
but
we're
none of us are.
humans.
but I mean, help each other out. It only takes like 5 minutes or 5 seconds or whatever. If you see someone's having a bad day, give them a message and tell them, "Hey, thinking about you. Are you going to make it through this?"
You know what? Or smile.
A smile goes a
Exactly.
long way.
I had that
Didn't
conversation.
we just have this conversation? Yesterday?
Because we're so busy into our phones, into what we're doing every single day. Like I did an experiment probably about a couple years ago, just because I wanted to. I'm at the mall with my niece and family, and we're walking by, and there's people just in their phones and whatever. But the ones that were looking up, I smiled.
Yeah,
I smiled at the people walking by with their face in their phone too. But I kept smiling. I said hi. And they say hi back, or they smile. Or the ones that were in their phone stayed in their phone. And my niece was like, "Do you know that person?" I was like, No, I don't.
No.
But watch. And she kept on watching. So they go into another store, and I'm sitting out, and there's this lady, an older lady, just sitting there by herself. And I say hi. And she says, "Hi, how are you doing?" I'm good, So we start a conversation, and she pulls out, she's telling me about her son. She's telling about her grandchildren and everything. And she pulls out a photo album, and she starts sharing her photos with me of her family. And so she didn't know me. I just said hi, but she shared her whole world with me by showing me her pictures of her son and her grandchildren and everything, and I talked to my mom about it when my mom was still around. And I said, "Mom, we're not compassionate enough.
Yeah.
We just are not compassionate enough." And I told her about that story, and she smiles to me, and she says, "That's it. That's my world right there. That's my girl." And so to me, it was like, I made a difference just by talking to that lady. Right. And my mom, I made a difference by talking to my mom, and my mom telling me that I'm her world, and that's what she wanted to share, and that she was proud of me. And to me, that was a huge thing, And I think if you just take a minute to be compassionate, yes, this world is scary.
Absolutely.
There's no lie, and there's no denying that. This world is very scary, but you never know until you actually say hi or smile to somebody.
It's like the starfish. The story of the starfish. That does everybody know that you're walking on a beach? Okay, walking on the beach, and there's all these starfish up on the beach, and they're gonna die if they don't get into the water. And a little boy is out there throwing the starfish out, and an older gentleman comes, "What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" And the little boy goes, "Oh, I'm throwing them back in." And he goes, "Well, you're never going to make a difference. There's too many. It's too overwhelming. You're not going to make a difference." And he's like, "Well, I made a difference to that one."
Yep.
Exactly. And just same way, not everybody is going to see that smile.
Right.
But the ones that did, Heather,
you may have changed their day.
That's right. Absolutely.
There's so much going on in this world with bullying and with just being so mean to each other. And just, there's so much hatefulness that if you can just take a minute and smile, or just check on somebody, if you have them on your mind, just shoot them up an inbox. "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Right.
If they don't respond, they don't respond, but you put your hand out. You tried.
Yes,
you said something, but the ones that really need it, hopefully that'll help.
Yeah.
So we got a couple.
I'm forever being told life stories in waiting rooms and in grocery lines, simply because I look at a person in their eyes, smile, and say,
"Right,
I see you.
Yeah.
Hi."
Right.
I mean,
I recognize that you're here.
You're a human being, and you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just floors me that not everybody does that.
Yeah.
I got a couple things that are going on in the chat really quick. So let me see here. Derek saying colors. Tony said, "Thank you for having the courage and sharing your story, Jan. Keep being epic." Derek says, "Kindness costs you
nothing."
Sorry, no glasses again. Stone Cottage says, "Why can't we all just get along? That could be a whole podcast series." LOL. Farmer Chrissy. Hey, Farmer Chrissy from Stone Cottage Farm.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk about the goat snuggling in a little bit here.
Yes, in a little bit.
And then Tony says, "Swallow your pride. It has zero calories.
Right.
Nice. And then Farmer Chrissy says, however, I'm learning more and more that it is better to focus on what I can do to give some joy back than to ponder any longer why we can't all just get along.
True.
That is very
really
good.
That is awesome.
Sage
Yeah.
advice.
Very
Yep.
much
Yes.
so. But yeah, thank you guys for chiming in. We appreciate that. And there's the color test there, their personality test that we were
Yes.
just talking about. So go ahead and check that out.
And that is also posted on the Facebook page as well.
Yep, Survivor Girl Facebook page. So, and if you're just joining in, we have Jan. We also have the link on the Survivor Girl podcast page where you're able to pick up her book,
Yes.
her Oola Journey book.
Yes.
Oola Journey. There you go.
Oola.
Very
Oola
cool.
la.
State of awesomeness.
Yes.
That's what I
Short
know
for
it as.
Oola la.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oola la is short. And so Oola is the state of awesomeness.
Yes.
And it is when our lives are balanced, that is a state of awesome. We're just, and it really, I think the hardest part was finding the balance, of course. We talked when I first met Dave and Troy, Troy started spinning a plate.
Okay.
And so he's spinning one plate and then he gets another plate and then another one till he has 7. We have our 7 key areas of life. He had 7 plates up there. Well, what happens if you don't pay attention to the first one that you started spinning? It starts to slip and fall. So we need to go back. We need to constantly be evaluating where we're at. And like I said, there's seasons in life. So there's times where you're not going to be perfectly balanced. Some people kind of get caught up in that. And absolutely there are seasons. And sometimes you have to, like if you're sick, then you absolutely have to spend more time on your health and maybe take a few days off work.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
take that nap.
That's right. Take that nap.
Take that nap.
I'm getting the eyes from over there across the room from Becky. Yeah, she's right. I mean, and it's hard sometimes. It's very hard to give up that control when you think you're in control, but you're not. We're really not supposed to be in control.
No.
So,
give it to God.
Right.
Give it to God.
And that's
Heather.
something that you learn. Like that is sometimes a hard lesson to learn, but it's very good once you finally decide to go and jump on board with that. And I know the looks coming across because I've had some interesting things come up lately. And one of the things was kind of like a warning. Out of nowhere, this voice, I'm in the ER, might be a little bit kooky or something, but I'm hearing take this as a warning. So I am. And I have to kind of chill for a little bit, but I'm still going to be here. I'm going to be on the podcast doing everything that I'm doing. But I'll be taking that nap when I
be taking the nap and asking for help when she needs it.
Absolutely. So that's another thing that was a hard thing for me. But you're right.
I think we all have that problem of asking for help.
Oh, yeah.
The balance.
We can do it all.
Learning the balance thing, though, and starting to, reading your book and starting to read the Oola Journey, the finding balance in the unbalanced world. It's like, okay, this is making sense. I took the 21-day challenge.
Good.
We'll have to post that up too, so you guys can do that too.
Yeah, the 21-day challenge is awesome.
There were some things that were a little bit harder than others, but they were so needed. Like,
like which ones?
The 4-hour break from social media.
4-hour break.
4 hours from the social media, the telephone, the just putting the phone
disconnecting.
Down. Disconnecting.
That one, I think I'm trying to think exactly how it was worded, but it was something along the lines of having to really dig deep and forgive, I think was one of the ones in there. That was one that was a little bit harder for me. So, but
forgiveness is not an easy thing.
It's not.
It's not. It's really something that we have to mindfully do, intentionally do. And it's not always easy. Sometimes we get stuck in the anger or the hurt.
Yeah.
And so, but God forgave us.
Right.
So,
yeah, I mean,
it's kind of like, who are we to not be able to forgive others?
That's like praying for your enemy, which is extremely difficult to do.
It can be. Yeah,
it can be.
It can be.
Absolutely.
But I found though, once you start forgiving and you start letting those chains off of you, and that's kind of like really how it felt. All of the things that we've all gone through, everybody that's in this room right now, and people that are listening. There's so many things that we go through in life. and they kind of start to chain up. It's
They
kind of
weigh
like
you
a
down.
shackles,
Yes.
you know.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
once you kind of start cutting away at those, you know,
Breaking the
it may take
chains.
breaking the chain. It may take one at a time. But you're not going to break out of it all
No.
at once, and that's
It's a
another
process.
thing. That's another thing that might
Yeah.
be a hard thing to do,
It's
but
like
it's worth
picking
it.
up the glass of water that's half full.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't pick it up,
Yeah.
but it's just, yeah. You know where I'm going.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't verbalize it very well, but
Yeah, I gotcha.
don't
I
pick
think
up what you
everybody-
don't need to pick up,
Yeah.
basically.
Too much. And that
There you go.
happens.
Yeah.
And I think you're right though. Like when you say take that day off, that if you need it, take that nap, take that time out to watch something. Like I'm taking a page from Crystal LaFay.
Yes.
We had her on here. Incredible story. She's taken a brain tumor from the size of a quarter down to a pea just by taking care of herself, taking time out, listening to her body and all of that stuff. And
yes.
you know, I'm taking a page from her. She watches Ellen DeGeneres to laugh. She does whatever, you know, and it's like, okay, I need to learn these things because sometimes I'm too caught up. And I know we've all felt that.
Yeah.
You know, there's demands. There's so many demands, but
the demands on us in society, you know, and then we look at social media and everybody's got this beautiful life. And so we think, you know, but we're just seeing what they want to put on Facebook, you know, or not podcast, but Instagram and tweeting and, you know, it's not real life.
No.
So I have a hard question for you.
Okay.
What do you do to get your balance back? How does Jan get her balance back when she's out of balance?
So, you know, I was really struggling. We just had a major blessing happen. My husband and I am remarried since my husband deceased in 2009. I remarried to a wonderful man, and we have a business, and the business has not been great. Him and his family have owned the business for 47 years. But business has, you know, after 47 years, things start to get a little
and you
wonky.
can plug that business too if you would like.
Okay. We actually own a pawn shop.
Okay. And where is this pawn shop and what is it called?
It's called the Music Man Pawn Shop in Flint. And so we mostly have musical equipment, but we do have tools and lots of beautiful jewelry and electronics too.
The things you find in a pawn shop.
That's right. Yeah. And we tend to think of ourselves as different than the ordinary pawn shops. You will actually see scripture up on the wall, and we have the lowest interest rate around, you know, the legal interest rate of 3%. I mean, you can't even go to a bank and get 3% on a loan,
you can't.
You know? So but we tend to, we listen, you know, generally when people come in, it's usually because they're in a tough situation or they're having a tough time. So we like to listen to our customers and to be there for them as a listening ear, not just to help them financially in a time of trouble, but to also listen to the things that they have. So things have been kind of interesting. Anyhow, we've been praying for our business, and we were crazy blessed about 2.5 months ago. And we actually purchased a very, very large collection of Hot Wheels and Matchbox cars, enough that my husband actually had to go rent a U-Haul to pick them up.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of Matchbox cars.
Yeah. So it has been very, very overwhelming. We figure we probably still have at least 20,000 cars to try and contend with. And it's just been very overwhelming. So as you can imagine, my wheel has been very unbalanced.
Yes.
It's been very much field, you know, that spoke of the field, our work has been very, very long, and the fun and the family has been very, very short. So my oldest daughter lives in Florida with her husband and their 3 boys. And she sent me a text, and I had been there last year, and we had gone out to lunch when I was there, and she sent me a text like 2 weeks ago with a picture of us being out to lunch a year ago and said, we need to do this again. I flipped open my calendar because I'm just in that state of mind. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, I need to do something. I
Yeah.
need to change this because I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm unbalanced. Looked at my calendar. I'm like, how's Saturday look? And she's like, what? So I called my husband. I said, hey, I can get a flight to Florida for, 6 days, $300. What do you think? And he's like, okay.
Okay.
Okay, if that's what you need to do, I am very blessed.
That's
So
awesome.
many, oh, God has just been so good to me.
Yeah.
And this, my marriage and in my businesses and just everything right now, it's awesome. But I needed to take that time. So I went down, spent some time with the grandbabies and my daughter, had a couple days where they actually were gone to work and school. So I had 2 days just to chill.
Nice.
And so I watched some videos. I love Rachel Hollis.
Okay.
She is author of Girl Wash Your Face. And
Oh,
also, have you
yeah.
seen her?
I haven't, but I've
Oh my
seen the quote
gosh.
of "Girl, wash your face," and I
Yes.
love it.
Girl Wash Your Face. I actually like her newest book better. It's of course, Girls Stop Apologizing.
I need to read that book.
Yes.
I'm getting pointed at.
It is
She's being
really,
pointed at.
yeah, it is really, I like that one.
Okay.
That's really resonated with me. So I took 2 days and I just, would go outside, I'd read, I would, whatever. I needed to rebalance and have some me time for my fitness, my mind. That's what I needed to concentrate on.
Uh-huh.
So then, when I came home, then I also realized that my fun spoke was a little out of balance.
Yes.
And what do I like to do for fun? I don't even know. It's like, I know my husband, he likes to snowboard and,
Yeah.
he likes to, as he calls it, blow shit up. He's a pyrotech. So he's a pyrotech. So he likes to do fireworks.
Yes.
But me, I'm like, but what does Jan like to do?
Yes.
And I like to create. I actually owned a scrapbooking store for a few years.
Yes.
And I miss that. I
Uh-huh.
miss creating. It's the childhood coming out of me. I want to cut up paper and glue and color with my markers. In fact,
color pencils and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, when you see my book, you'll notice the front cover, I actually drew that butterfly and colored it. So that's what I love to do for fun. So it just so happened the day after I got back from Florida, there was a Great Lakes scrapbooking event in Novi, Michigan.
Oh, the big one.
The big one.
The big one.
Yes, the big one. So yeah, I went down there with my mother-in-law and my sister-in-law. So brought the family unit in there some more and we just had a great time. I shopped, I learned some new techniques, I got to visit with friends, and we just had a great time. So I knew I needed to evaluate which spokes were off.
Yes.
And how can I boost those? And sometimes it's jumping on a plane and going to Florida.
Hey.
And sometimes it's going to a expo and buying
learning new techniques
stamps
on scrapbooking and
buying rubber stamps and markers.
Yes.
Well, it's really, really important to be
or
able
bubble
to do
wands
that.
in the bathtub.
Oh my gosh. She bought me and Adam bubble wands and she was like, here, have fun. So at like 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't know why, we were still up. He got out of work or whatever. And we're in the bathroom blowing bubbles into the bathtub, just giggling and laughing and just having a great time. And I was like, I just want more of this.
That's right. Because we need to laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So laughing, important. we miss that. So if it's finding your favorite comedian on YouTube or Netflix, or if it's watching kitten videos, and watching little kitties. It doesn't
do
matter
what makes you
what
happy.
it is. That's right.
I'm on like that mission for what makes my soul happy. And yesterday was one of those things.
Yes.
We posted all over.
Thank you, Farmer Chrissy, for having us.
We gotta hear
So
about
much
this.
fun.
I saw the
at
pictures.
the Pirate Goat Snuggling Party.
Yes.
So
it's the Pirate Goat Snuggling Party because they were from Mid-Michigan Renaissance Festival, which is coming up next month.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have a whole bunch of a crew like for pirates and whatever. And then they have all of the Kittigeddon. Which is all of the baby goats, which I think I can't even remember. Was there 29 that were
There were quite a few.
31 goats born this
31
year.
goats.
And this is from
Wow.
Stone Cottage Farm.
Yes.
They are the ones that
They're-
make the goat soap that is amazing.
They're
It
local
is.
here to Carroll too.
They
aren't
Yes,
are.
they are.
Yes,
Well,
they
they're
are.
in Mayville
Okay.
on
so not-
O'Brien
yep,
Road, so
not
not
far.
too far away, but they do the local farmer markets
Yes.
and Midmish to
Yep.
sell the soap.
Yep.
And
Yes.
And they have an Etsy
I was
store as
gonna
well.
yes, and the Etsy store.
So-
And Farmer Christy made some of the most amazing bread.
It looked very good.
It was
It looked
very
very
good. I mean, poor Heather, gluten,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a friend, but
Adam's like,
it
did
was
you get me some? I'm like,
amazing.
I didn't
Yep.
want to. I didn't
Yep.
touch it
Yeah.
even. But
And then
You
they
don't-
also
they make
shared,
cheese and all
yep,
kinds
they
of
also
stuff.
shared some of their, was it Gouda and Swiss?
Yeah.
Yep. The
Oh,
engineer
so
is shaking
good.
his head. Yes, it was Gouda and Swiss.
So good, you guys. We just absolutely
Yep.
love their energy, how great people they are.
Yes.
And they invited us out there. We went and had fun. We snuggled goats. I got my
Yes.
hoodie a little bit chewed on by them. They didn't eat it, but I was like, hey,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Then I watched another one go like charge Tony because he was down petting the one Alita that Maddie had named.
Yes.
And then this other one comes up behind him and starts kind of charging him, and I'm just laughing. It was so fun, but it was good. It was like one of those, and they had pug puppies that were out there,
Yes,
dogs that were out
my
there.
goodness.
dogs.
So I was like, my soul was super happy today.
Yes.
You know,
And
I was
it
tired, but I
good
was so
food
happy.
and great
Oh
company
yeah,
as well.
very
So,
much. So we just want to thank you
Animals can
guys.
do that.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then we got to play with the two who were just born.
yes, the
Aw.
two
The
new
two
ones, 10-day
newest.
old goats,
Yes.
and they were so adorable and
They
so fun.
were. Yeah.
So I mean, it's just that kind of stuff. Like we've surrounded ourselves with such good people,
Mhm.
and the energy, and just when you go out there, you just feel like you're relaxed. It's just really nice. I
Yes.
mean,
That's
it's a really
awesome.
good feeling, like good soul stuff. So I mean,
Yes.
that's important, guys. Do things that are
is.
good for your soul. Color, like you said, color
Yeah.
if you want to. I always grew up thinking in the beginning, like in my early 20s, oh, I'm too old for this. I gotta
Yeah.
stop this. And then I'd hear from my mom, I can't wear that because it's too young looking. And I was, where would you want to wear?
Yep.
Right? Color,
Right.
dance in the rain. Me and Adam did that on
Yes.
my birthday last year.
Yeah.
Dance in the rain. Do what makes you happy.
Catch
That's right.
snowflakes and
Who
make snow
cares?
angels.
Yeah. Who cares if who's
Sidewalk
watching
chalk.
and
Yeah.
thinks that you're crazy?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll join in on the fun. Maybe they'll
Right.
continue thinking you're crazy.
Sit in your-
well.
sit in your driveway, listen to music, and just rock out.
That too.
Yeah.
I mean, road trips, people. Let's
Yes.
do
That's right.
stuff that makes your soul happy.
Yes.
Yeah. And
really.
I have so many friends, through my other business that they're like, oh, but I live too far. I'm like, psh, so what? You're 2 hours. I'll come see you.
Yeah.
They're like, what? You know what? I got a new car. Well, it's new to me.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
Yes.
talk about
2012,
that.
but-
Talk about this story.
Is
Yes.
it the manifestation of this?
Oh
and
my
everything?
gosh. So as I was reading another book by Jan
Sincero.
Sincero,
Yes.
yes. What, You're a Badass?
Yes, you are a
Yes.
badass.
Oh my
Good
gosh. It
Yeah,
is such
look
a
on the-
great book.
Yep.
Yes, you
Tony's
are a
got it here.
badass. Oh, he's got the everyday you're a
Yes.
badass. That's awesome. So, and you can actually, I learned this from Heather, you can actually listen to it also. She
Right
has
here
act-
on YouTube.
Yeah, on
Mhm.
YouTube. She has actually read the book on her own and put it on
She's
YouTube.
so
It's
funny.
amazing.
She is.
She's very good at reading that book.
Yeah.
You are not. I did not get bored through that entire
No,
book,
no.
and it was awesome.
It
But
is.
yes,
So anyhow, she talks about in the book on how to write out your manifesto. So
Mhm.
you need thoughts are words, and okay, and it talks about it in the Bible.
Yeah.
We need to speak it. And so many times people speak death into their lives instead of
yes.
life into their lives.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so this, in Jen's book, she talks about writing out your manifesto and your goals in life and everything. So
Mhm.
I had written mine out. I started at the end of December because I know that we were doing a fireworks shoot for New Year's and I was finishing it up that night. And so I had already started to write out my manifesto. I have it in my planner. I have it on my mirror. I use my my essential oils daily. And I would say this every day. Well, I knew that I was going to need a new vehicle. I knew that was coming up. But looking at financially, okay, I needed to wait until something was done in April that we were done paying on
Yeah.
that I would be able to afford a payment in April.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, about 4 months. And January, this had been part of my manifesto that I would get a new vehicle. It was going to be gold. It was going to be a Equinox, that it was going to have heated seats. It was going to be, I really thought I wanted, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
I got front-wheel drive, but that's okay. I'll, I'm all right with that.
A couple things,
A couple of things.
Right.
But, I started speaking this, and it just, like, in a matter of days, and just, it all fell in. It just happened. It's crazy. I mean, looking at it now, it's like, oh my gosh, this is May. I should be just getting a vehicle now. But no, 5 months ago, everything lined up.
Yeah.
And within a matter of 2 days, I had a new car. It was crazy.
That's
and I love it.
awesome.
And it allows me to do more of what I love. And that is to go visit with friends. I'm not much of a talker on the phone.
Yeah. In person.
Yeah, I need to be in person. So when you read the book, I really struggled with friendships. That's something I have to really work on, is how to be a friend, because I never knew how to be a friend.
Yeah.
I didn't have my first friend till I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So 5th grade. I mean, back when girls were, having sleepovers and going to parties and all this, nah, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's not. So I really struggle with that.
Right.
And I still do. It's like, because then as I grew up, that I became a mom, and my oldest daughter just said to me, she goes, Mom, why did you not have friends?
Yeah.
I don't get it. You had 4 kids. We're always meeting moms and doing stuff. And she does. She lives in Florida with, her family's all up here, but she has a great network of friends. Yeah. And it's just awesome. And I just didn't have that. So, me. Okay. So it's something that I've learned, is to how to be a friend, and that friends are so important. Yeah. And that is one of our 7 key areas of life. So that's one of the spokes, F's, that I've really had to work on. It's probably my hardest, honestly, which is weird to some people, because some people are just a natural friend,
right?
I was going to say, I was an Army brat, so
you kind of struggled with that
difficult.
too.
Yeah.
Did you
make friends? Yeah.
Yeah, because you knew that you were going to be leaving.
I knew I was going to be leaving, and I was an introvert. So, introverts don't go out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always have a hard time in the friendship aspect, unless people really understand, because I've got so much different things that go on in life, and then I've struggled throughout life with depression and different things, and and there was a lot of times, like before years ago, before I ended up getting cancer and everything, and overcame that, like I would hide out, and if something happened to where I just couldn't talk to people, like I wouldn't hide out, and then I have the bad habit of I forget birthdays. I forget anniversaries. I forget all these kind of things, and it's not purpose. It's not on purpose, and it's not that I don't love them people and I don't, care about them. It just happens. Yeah.
Even
and then I feel
reminding me, I still forget birthdays. So
right.
I do, like, and maybe some people may look at that as like as a bad trait as a friend, but when I try my best, and it's always, it's like, I love you guys. I'm sorry. I don't always remember everything, and that's just part of my personality. And as much as I'd like to always remember, it happens sometimes where it does, I don't. So, so I can kind of see where in that balance in my life, I struggle a little bit, but I also, have a really good support system, amazing friends, family, and everything. And I think we all do. And I think that's awesome when you talk about the different balances of it, because that is important. Balancing your life is super important. But you don't know until you actually know. Yeah. That you need that balance.
Right. Yeah. Well, some people just go through life and they don't know any different. They don't know that things can be different.
Right.
And so that's what spreading the word Oola and what that means. Yeah. And that that life can be different, like I said, your past does not define you. You can launch yourself by looking at the Oola accelerators. You can launch yourself into a better life and something that rolls more smoothly. Yeah. I meet people and they're like, oh, just if it's going to happen, it's going to happen to me. And if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at
I
all.
was going to say, but
Okay.
isn't that in a way a self-fulfilling prophecy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's look at, let's get rid of those words that you're speaking into death into your life.
Yes.
But then let's also look at your 7 F's.
Yes.
And let's look at the blockers. Maybe there's a lot of blockers in there. Laziness, know.
Yeah.
Do you not have
That's
that dream
happened.
job because
you're not working
I'm
for
just
it.
saying,
No, it's true though. I mean, stop and think about it. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Why isn't it happening? What are the blockers? What are the accelerators? I mean, you really have to dig deep when you're looking at the stuff too. And it's uncomfortable. Some of it can be.
Yes.
Because you have to be honest with yourself in order to balance yourself out. I mean, it just happens.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you guys get a chance to take the 21-day challenge, I did post the link up in Survivor Girl.
Yep.
We've got the personality test up there. And I also got the links for Girl Wash Your Face, Girl Stop Apologizing.
Did you do
Jan's
the Oola?
book.
Oh, thank you. Did you do the oolalife.com so that they can take the test to see where they're, because there's a quick test that you can go in and it's going to tell you which F's you're low or high in, or maybe you're balanced. But that's a really good one. You go to oolalife.com and you can take the balance test right on there. And that really helps you because you might not realize where you need help.
Exactly. I was going to say, one of the things I realized was when family starts to dwindle, you rely on your friends more.
Absolutely.
So you definitely have to keep those two in balance because they are kind of relying on each other.
Right. Yeah.
So, and it's really great when friends become family.
It is great.
It is
really awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with it. I have one brother, so being surrounded, I collect friends, and I'm like, they're my sister. That's my brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm not that I'm not thankful that I have just the one brother. I love him.
No brother
you have no
or no
sibling,
sister. I'm the only child, but I do because that's my sister right there.
Right. So.
That's right.
Yep.
But, I'm going to go ahead and post that up there so everybody's able to see that link. So you can go ahead and take the test. I got a couple things left in chat here. We got some hearts from Stone Cottage Farm. Tony saying illegal cheese for life.
You got the hashtag.
Illegal cheese for life. I'm still getting used to the hashtags.
Yes.
And then also Stone Cottage says, very good advice, Heather, because even if we play it totally safe, and never do anything crazy, the folks who are dancing in the rain will think we were the crazy ones. So so it's just go and do your thing, live your life. We've all gone through something, we're surviving. Or if you're going through something right now, dig deep, don't give up, keep on moving forward, because you can overcome whatever it is that you're going through. It may be harder, but you can do it.
I saw your hashtag earlier today, and it's better not bitter.
Yes,
I love that.
That is Becky's.
Yes.
That's her line.
That is
Awesome.
Mine. Yeah.
Yes, I love that, Becky.
And of course, with mine, mine's life is best lived.
Yes,
which is the truth. I mean, you get to
and
the
they
end,
go hand in hand.
They do.
They do.
Both
Absolutely. But that's if we can, kind of combine all of these, not let your past define you, and be better, not bitter. From our past. That's a thing. We tend to I see so many people that dwell on that. And there's so much to life. There is so much.
There really is.
You can't let that control you. I mean, there's so much in life that we can't control.
Right.
Yes.
Why let that have control?
Yes.
You can choose not to let that have control.
And I found one of the most amazing things is when you wake up in the morning, that really is the truth of one positive thought in the morning will get you going somewhere. One of my favorite quotes that I have seen is, if it's like negativity is like a flat tire. If you don't fix it, you aren't going anywhere. That's attitude. Yeah. Attitude is like a flat tire. If you don't fix it, you're not going anywhere. Right. Oh. And I really, really like that quote a lot because it really, the visual of it.
Right.
You're not going anywhere. Yeah. And it's easy. It's easy for us to be able to be negative. But if you can have that one thought in the morning, no matter what you've gone through, regardless, if you get that one thought in the morning, it can help power you through. I mean, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, yeah.
Mel Robbins.
Yeah, Mel.
I mean, that was another thing that helped me really get through some stuff. I mean, all of these things, guys, use what we've talked to
Yes.
tonight. Like we said in the beginning, we're not therapists. We're not here to fix you, but
Yeah.
we're here to give you some advice.
Yep.
To share our
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
experiences.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I love how you and I start our morning every morning. We wake up, we tell each other good morning, and we say, today is a great day.
Yes.
It's not going to be a great
No,
day.
it already is.
It is a great day.
Absolutely.
So,
And Kenna says, hashtag live life to the fullest.
yes.
And Tony, wake up on purpose. And that is
Yes.
so true, guys. So,
Yes.
we want to thank you, Jan, for being here.
Thank you
So
so
do you
much for
have
having me.
any last bit of advice? Anything that you haven't said that you want to say?
Can you believe it?
And she's speechless.
I'm speechless.
Wow.
Put
I
you
know.
on the spot.
Wow.
I just really want to thank you guys for doing this and for having me and for letting me talk about Oola. I mean, the guys are going, they're actually fulfilling a dream of
Yes.
going throughout the 50 states in a VW bus, which Kenny got to drive. It was pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Wow.
But taking that VW bus across the United States and collecting 100 dreams, or I'm
Yes.
sorry, not 100, a million.
Yes.
A million dreams. So if you
if
guys
you see the Oola bus,
that's right. They will give you stickers and you can put your dream on that sticker and attach it to the bus.
And they love it when you flag them down.
Yes, they
which
do.
was case in point in the video that I posted last night about
Yes.
what Oola was.
Okay,
They
good.
just love that.
They
So
do.
And
They
also,
do.
guys, if you do purchase the book, I know in the Oola, the Living in the Unbalanced Life, or
Mhm.
Yeah.
there is a sticker in the back of that book.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's cool
Yes.
too.
Actually, they have Oola Tea, which is
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
They have a subscription. And so every month I get a new sticker. So I can keep, because our goals and our dreams change
They
too.
do.
Yes.
They do.
So not just where we're balanced and all that, but as we live life, things are going to change. And
Yep.
it's awesome to constantly reevaluate.
Yeah.
Don't
Yes.
get stuck. I guess that would be a thing.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck with where you're at, but continue to dream and to work hard to live out that dream.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Well, we thank you so much for being
Thank you
here
for
with us,
being here.
Jan. It's
Yes.
been
Thank you.
awesome. I've been looking forward to the show.
Yes.
I know. It
ever
seems like
since
we scheduled
asked,
it forever ago.
we did,
Yes.
because right when we started talking about it, it was like we were just in the stages of
Yeah.
starting.
Yes.
And I mean, we're already on episode 4. We
Yes.
have so many likes and
do
subscribes.
we share what we're going to be doing in June?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
In June, we are actually going to add a third Sunday.
Yes.
Really?
So we will be going live the first 3 Sundays of every month,
Yep.
starting
Wow.
in June.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So we're
I'm
gonna
so happy for you
I
guys.
was going to say, we've had so many people reach out and say, I want to tell my story, or
Oh,
so and
that's
so
awesome.
needs to tell their story, or
Yes.
so we filled out our calendar and we're like, we need more days.
We need more days.
That's awesome. And I
Yep.
really hope that people will add me on Facebook
Yes.
and reach out. You know,
Yes.
I would love to talk with anyone.
Yes.
If they're struggling with sexual abuse, as a child, as an adult, not just sexual, but verbal, mental.
Yeah.
You read the book. There was a lot of stuff. I don't really want to.
I was going
I
to
don't
say,
wanna
and she
waste
was
or-
tagged in the post where you can
Yeah.
purchase the book
Yeah.
on our
Well,
Facebook page. So
But
So,
reach out to me. I'd be
reach
glad
out
to
to her.
talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I
she's a
love it.
wonderful lady, and
absolutely.
she's amazing.
Um,
You're amazing, Jen,
you
and
are.
we're
Thank
blessed
you.
to have you in our life.
I'm
And
blessed
thank
to have you
Yes.
guys. You've been
Thank you for writing that book.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing your story, and thank
Yes.
you for putting it out there. Sometimes it's really super hard to be able to put it all out on your sleeve and to put it
Yes.
all out there.
Oh.
And that's kind of like the journey that we're on right now.
Yes.
And we eventually want to be able to do a travel thing and be able to get
Yes.
out there and go and talk, like
Yes.
public speak, and whatever. Becky's a little bit apprehensive on the public speaking part, but she's
However,
going to be
I
there to
am
support
starting
me.
to find the comfort in the uncomfortable.
There you go.
Yes, she so is, and the journey is amazing.
Hashtag do it scared girl.
Yeah,
Scared
do
girl.
it scared.
There
You have
you
to
go.
add that.
Yes, you have to
it.
add that one. Yep.
So I just want to thank you again. And you guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for
Yes.
joining us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat,
Yes.
Twitter,
Yes.
all of these things, YouTube. Thank you for subscribing. If you want to
Pinterest coming
share
soon.
Pinterest. Yeah, we're working on all of the social medias. Also, I want to take a minute and just give a shout out to our street team.
Yes.
We have a street team. So if anybody is interested in joining in on the street team, just give us a message on Survivor Girl Podcast. They are doing amazing. They are putting it out there, sharing Survivor Girl Podcast and everything.
I do believe.
So thank you guys.
Thank you to our street team. We are now up 100 likes on Facebook
since adding the street team. So we want to thank all of you amazing people for joining us on this journey and helping us boost this out there so we can get the word out to everybody.
Yes.
So
be better, not bitter.
All right, guys. And life is best lived. And join us again. Our next episode
is in June.
June. Yeah. Yes. Join us in June, guys.
Yes.